It's two 16
Yes, he
gig.
is.
So you put in 32.
Yeah.
Good. Two drives. Oof. Ugh.
Tell us how you really feel, Shane.
But it's a music production, though. It's not gaming.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing it. I'm saying.
So did you get it
Oh, no,
completely
no, no. I
built?
didn't think you were criticizing.
No, I'm very impressed with it.
That makes
When
sense.
are y'all gonna come over and go
You'd want a bigger
swim?
graphics card for the
When are we
gaming, but you're
doing
not gaming on it, so
the Marauders by the pool?
We need to
it's
do
gorgeous.
Marauders by the pool.
That's solid, mod.
Saying.
it. Thank you, bro.
I don't know if anybody wants to see me in a banana hammock.
You guys can
Oh,
bring
no
the
one asked for
kiddos.
that.
I've been trying to talk my husband into wearing one.
I'm sure
Oh
you are.
no, I'm not gonna show up where anybody's in a banana hammock either.
Oh, don't lie.
I'm just gonna bring
Jared
the
is-
banana speedo.
Especially Ace.
I'm bringing the banana speedo.
Yeah.
I was about to say I'm not. I'm definitely. I don't know if they make a big enough banana.
I don't know either.
We're gonna find out. You
Somebody
have
gonna
to sew
mistake
two of them
Like,
together.
is that a floaty?
Wow.
Oh, it's good stuff here today.
Mod's always got a pool
Oh,
noodle ready to go.
You never know what you're gonna see
Always
on the
got the
Marauders
pool noodle.
podcast.
never
You
know.
never
You
know.
never know. It's good
Okay.
stuff, good stuff. Welcome.
Yes, we are all back. What's up, guys?
That's great.
We're gonna start in the corner. Introduce yourselves.
What's going on? I am Ace One Kenobi, aka Ace Kennedy. You know how I love to do it. Talk nerdy to me.
We still need t-shirts.
Just Shane today. Nothing
You're
fancy.
just
Shane.
Shane?
He's
Really?
been Shane for
Today
quite
seems like
while.
a very important podcast, and you're only Shane?
You know,
Well, and you're
I just-
only... Well, goodness,
What?
guys.
I'm only
What?
Jared.
Yeah, you're only Jared. What are y'all doing?
That scares me.
Makes me sad. Well, I'm Vader versus Vecna because I feel like it was a huge, what was it, 3 weeks of nerd stuff that was just amazing. So, yeah.
Pistons took Ivy.
And I changed mine real quick. I'm Jared.
Oh,
back from
yeah.
vacay.
Nice.
That was a good one. Oh, I like it.
We got the
I like
V's.
That's
Vendettas.
right. Yes. Oh, that's a good one, too.
That's a good one. Okay, so let's just get right into this. We are the Marauders.
Sure.
We're every Thursday, 7:30. What's that? The shirt?
I see,
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw
he's
that.
showing it off up there.
You might as well don't just like tease us with it. Give us.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Where'd you get it?
That
I
is
dig
gorgeous.
that
I want that. I want
Hot
that.
Topic.
totally.
Hot
Is that
Topic?
part of the Kenobi line?
I'm going to
No,
get it
just
right
Hot
now.
Topic. It's on Hot Topic.
Right
I
now.
got it right when right before the season started. I wore it to church that one time.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Before we
Same.
get too far, I definitely, after this episode, I really want to buy Kenobi's lightsaber. I have to say,
You see how he was gripping it?
I did.
Oh my god! When he was gripping it with two hands, but it was up here. It was like right by. Oh, God, bro. That
So
fight,
as someone who's already ordered Kenobi saber, we have to wait till January, which I think is utter garbage.
I got the helmet.
you did.
Which is I'm proud of you.
Well, Vader actually needs one. Did you buy one for him?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially for
Right.
what we saw. If I had one of what we saw,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that obviously later, but
Yes.
I want a
Yeah,
black
I would-
series.
Yeah.
I guarantee
a
a
you
black
that
series
pop
of
toy-
that.
That pop toy
Yeah.
is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
want a
totally.
physical. I want a physical
I do
black
too.
series with his helmet cut like
Yeah.
that, and then like his chest piece damage. Look,
Yeah.
dude, we're gonna get
I'll
into
pay
it. but
$1,000.
When
I
he
don't even
took the
care.
hilt and just started like beating his chest plate,
Oh, God. Dang. Yeah. Anyways.
we're gonna get
Yeah,
into
we-
it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, yo. Let's start with some of Joey's crap with
I might need
He's-
tissues, though, when we get into it, so warn me before we get into
Okay.
it.
It'll be the last thing we talk about.
Okay.
We'll talk about a couple things first. So he was talking about taking the crave out of Craven for the Sony episode. Since we're talking about like Morbin time and stuff with the go ahead.
Kraven
My
the
brain
Hunter.
just like stopped. Yeah, Craven the Hunter.
I'm gonna be honest.
Anybody go?
I will say this: Sony needs to give it up.
I
No,
know.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Like now, Bonnie, I'm. This is no offense to you because I know you kind of like Venom,
I like
but
Venom, yeah.
they missed with Venom. They missed with Morbius. They missed. They're gonna miss with Craig. They just don't. They don't. They need to stop. They need to just like look, make an agreement with Marvel and
Yeah.
let it work. I'm just saying it's like somebody is stuck in the 90s with the way that they are shooting these movies, and they're not good. And here's the thing: as a person who loves filmmaking and who loves, I give respect to anybody that's able to make a movie, this, that, and the other. But at the same time, as a Marauder, it's not for me.
No, I agree with that. I don't know. It's also like if you're gonna do comic book stuff, it's already got the story written for you. So don't go against it because like the fans already like that part. So whenever you get into the crap that they've done, it's just stop. Just stop. Stop. I agree. Give the characters up to Marvel and just hang it up. You're done. You're done.
I didn't know that there was a big clamoring for a Craven the Hunter movie.
I don't think
Well,
they knew that. I don't think they.
here's what I think they're trying to do is build us like you're saying Sinister Six. So they're just not they're not hitting it on the head
None of the movies
at
has been
all.
good, and they're just going to keep going.
It's
It's not good. It's not.
are they depending on like PlayStation sales to help pay for
Yeah,
this?
what
don't
I
know.
honestly think they're trying to do is they're trying to do like Marvel, right? And find some characters that people might have heard of or don't know anything about and make something sprout from those particular characters.
Have
And
your
now is Craven, is he a tweener? Is he a heel? Is he a face? What is he? Good guy,
He's
bad guy?
told he's a villain. Yeah, there's
Okay, so
no
they're trying to build the
Mhm.
Sinister Six. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
But
Sony has tons of characters. Go tap the video game market, kind of like what Bonnie said, and stay out of these weird like characters
Yeah.
that nobody's heard of. Now, I'm sure there's people out there who love Craven the Hunter, and I'm sorry, like, go watch your Morbius and get back to me after they butcher this
Well,
one.
and
Like,
right. Well, and that's but with that, it's once again following stories that people actually like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like Morpheus could be part of Spider-Man, but why are you giving him his own movie? Like,
because
it makes
well,
no
yeah,
sense.
they're trying to make their continuity thing like Marvel's doing, but the problem is, Craven the Hunter was never like he was not a popular villain by himself, and the only reason he was popular was because of Spider-Man and kind of the interaction they had. Like he's supposed to be this wild, like super hunter guy. Like he's a cerebral type hunter, but by himself, there better be like some major other characters in there for that to work. Because he's not gonna hold it up being part of just because he was part of the Sinister Six. He's definitely
Right.
not the one that you ever go to as going part of the Sinister Six though. Nobody goes. Let's see. There's Craven. No, they go Green Goblin. They go Sandman. All our normal guys.
Well,
They don't say
yeah.
Craven first. Craven's never first. Craven's the one that are like, there's one more guy. He wears leopard. I don't know what he is.
Yeah,
That.
but I think that's the reason why they're going with him though, is because you have Goblin and all of them cats already in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
Then don't do it. Then stop.
they
Don't
are
do it.
somebody is dead set on it, and they are.
I
a movie
know.
that doesn't need to be made.
We've got writing from the late 80s, early 90s with cinematic style of now, though, is what it is. I think it's more the storytelling is the problem
Yes,
and
I
not
would
knowing
agree
what to
with
do
that.
with it.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. And it's like just I guess I can go back to how they did Venom too, the Let There Be Carnage, whatever. I feel like they could have done so different with that, and I don't even know where they pulled some of this. I mean, I know where they pulled some of it, but how they came up with the storyline, it was just you had a chance to, I mean, make lots of money because everybody loves Carnage and the whole Venom thing. But of course, you need Spider-Man too. and they just I don't know what they I don't know why you would do that.
Just sell it to Disney.
Agreed.
Just
Yeah.
sell it to Disney. Give up, sell it
100%
to
agree.
Disney, take the money, and go make stuff off the video games. Because
You're done.
Uncharted wasn't terrible. It was okay. Like, it wasn't anything
I thought
spectacular.
it was decent.
Yeah, but it was good. Like, I played the
Watch it.
Uncharted games and I loved them. I think that The Last of Us from HBO is going to be good. Obviously, we haven't seen anything. There's rumors of a God of War series, and there's rumors of a Horizon series, and then obviously they're waiting to close Bungie, the deal to acquire Bungie, and then there's rumors that we're going to start getting stuff in the Destiny universe. So, you have tons of IPs there, and obviously I've barely scratched the surface with Sony's IPs. So you have tons of IPs, and obviously video games are a hot thing. So tap into that. You're good at it. You've got all these studios that can write you stories, good stories. So I'd say go that route and give it to Marvel and quit with Kraven the Hunter. We just have that
Just
much
stop
money
it.
to light on fire.
Just don't make it look
Stop
like
it.
Halo.
Well,
Oh
let's not go
god,
to-
don't even
don't
don't
go
even get
there.
me started on Halo.
I still haven't watched it.
Don't do it. I watched
So I
the
read
first
something
episode
today
and was
that
like,
said that it was a priority
done.
that they get the helmet off as fast as they can, and I'm like, did anyone associated with that production know anything about Halo? Like,
no,
part of the
no.
whole mythos is that the helmet we've never seen Master
never
Chief's
comes
face.
off. Never comes.
Ever.
Well, it does come off, but you never see his
You-
face.
Right. Which yeah.
That's the thing.
friggin' stupid.
Sorry, I didn't.
And then
That was just a rabbit trail because you were mentioning Sony and all the IPs.
you had
The
to
problem
say
is, the problem is we have like all these things that are coming out. They could be awesome, but we get CW acting in it,
I mean, yeah.
and
I mean,
they throw a ton of money at it, but we get terrible stuff with it.
Oh, God. But
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
funny is
I'm not
about
wrong.
that stuff, though. You talk about that stuff, and let's look at DC and their stupid movies. But then you look at their freaking TV shows, and it's like, dang, you did
their
good.
TV shows are
I'm
better
not
than
saying
the
it's
movies.
all bad. I think there's lots of stuff that are really good. We have the wrong
No,
people
I
writing the wrong
know,
thing. I think. 'Cause
know. It's just nobody can get their crap together, except Marvel, Disney, whatever.
Ace,
Well.
what are you wanting to say? You're shaking your head a lot, but
I'm just listening to you because I mean, obviously, I don't know. I can't really comment on the Halo stuff only because for one, I haven't seen it, and two, I'm not the big Halo guy to be like, oh, this is canon and this isn't, and why you guys are upset that he took his helmet off. Like that's so I just it's almost like Harry Potter. So I didn't want to jump in there with that.
Harry
Are
Potter,
you taking
really?
shots at Harry Potter now? It's gonna be one of those.
We don't do that round here. We don't do that round here.
But that butterscotch
No.
beer, right?
the
Yeah.
The next
was
one-
butterbeer. Butterbeer.
Scotch. The next one's going to be Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Ace Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's
So
gonna
I'm ready to jump into to Ezra, man, since we just on bad stuff. So
Yeah,
Let's
speaking
let's
of, I mean,
go.
he was in Fantastic Beasts. There we go.
Well, he kind of.
He
Well,
was in
I
it.
mean-
He was pretty decrepit in it, but he was in it.
yeah.
Yeah, he talk about a guy who's in a lot of popular series who blew it.
I know, because
mean,
I do
get out of
like
your own
his
damn way.
character in Fantastic Beasts, but not anymore.
Get out of your own way. I mean, what do we got
What
now?
it-
What's he
It
doing now?
saddens me though about him because, like, I don't know if you guys ever watched Perks of Being a Wallflower or whatever, which is like an indie film. It is such a good movie, and he's in that, and he does such a good job, and that's kind of where I fell in love with him as an actor. But then he's just slowly or fastly doing this. I don't get it, because like sky's the limit for you.
He truly needs help. But the latest rumor rumblings that's going on is basically, obviously we still don't know. I don't know as of right now. I don't know the update on them finding the two, Ezra Miller and I forgot the young lady's name, but they had basically run from getting the paper served to them for his VPO or whatever you want to call it. but the latest is that once the Flash movie comes out, there that he will no longer be playing the Flash according to Warner Brothers. It hasn't been official. It's that's like just the heavy rumblings. But I guess my question to you all is, what are we doing with this movie? We talked about this a little bit last week. Um, I think we mentioned to maybe just put it on HBO Max. That way,
Mhm.
anybody who wants to see it can see it, or you know do something. The other thing let's say let's just say it costs 200 million to make it, right? Or 200,000, whatever. Two is
200 million.
200,000. Oh, 200 million. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's say 200 million to make it, right? And then they're like, no, we need to reshoot it. So let's say it cost another 180 million to reshoot it because they already got the blocking, they already got everything kind of set, they already got whatever. So it's maybe costs a little less.
Yeah.
So that's basically what 380. What if it makes 600 million in the box office if you reshoot it? Because
Big if.
you're gonna lose
Yeah.
because if you just release it in the theater, let's say it only makes like 60 million, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. What if you were in charge, what would you do?
So as is, honestly, and again, I don't know the details of DC's films, so I'm just going to throw out random numbers. But let's say it has a 200 million budget. Let's say they threw, well, I mean, they didn't throw much into marketing, but let's just say 50 million in what they've already spent in marketing. So you're 250 into the movie. I mean, I think even if it tanks, you can probably still recoup a good portion of that. Because a bad superhero movie usually makes, now we're not talking Morbius, but let's say it makes 50 million its opening weekend, then you launch it in a couple overseas markets, you can get close. So you just, if you can make half your money back, three-quarters of your money back, then you hope you're going to make it up in DVD sales or Blu-ray sales, or streaming. So I mean, at this point, I think you cut your losses. I think you've already canned it. You don't want to reshoot the whole film because you're going to have to try and get everyone back. So I think you cut your losses. I like the idea of just throwing it to HBO. It would be a big movie for HBO. You could push it. You're going to get a lot of revenue generated there, most likely. Um, I don't know, man. They're in a tough spot here. Like,
They
talk
are.
about talk about torpedoing a franchise.
Well, if you're gonna keep it as is, I would say you shoot an additional scene to where
Yeah,
you're showing him being as a new Flash.
yeah. You do whatever you're
Right.
going to do with their little Flash multiverse thing and
Yeah.
flip him out,
Like
and you get your
make
new,
it
you
a
introduce your new
post
actor.
credit. Jared, what would
What-
you do though?
I was actually looking up real quick
Yeah, I was
how much
looking up
they
as
actually
you were
spent
stuff.
on it on Morbius.
Oof. That
I
movie
don't,
bombed.
well, it's not showing how much, but it made 160, basically 164 million is all it made.
Yeah, and it's a total
and that's around
flop.
that's rounding it up. So if you spent 250 million on your movie, I mean, putting it in the theater is going to add extra to that. I would say throw it on HBO Max, get as much extra viewership as you can, pull some people in maybe that want to see it, and then call it done.
I mean,
At that point,
you figure people want to see Keaton.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
really the only reason why, right? At this point, why people want to
But-
see it.
but nobody's going to say, I want to go to the theater just so I can see Keaton. They're going to say, I'm just going to wait 45 days and watch it on HBO Max.
Yep.
It is budgeted
Guaranteed.
200 million, so it has a $200 million budget.
But then I don't know. You couldn't just pull it, could you?
Well,
And
right
say,
below
like,
I say
pull
I
it
say
and
hit it.
redo it.
I say hit it on HBO Max. You've got your Flashpoint at that point. Then all you're going to do is just say, I'm not using Ezra Miller. I'm going on with a different Flash from another Earth and call it good.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Here's another article that from, I don't know what this, but it says it was only 100 million. So somewhere between 100 and 200 million. So
To make Morbius.
no, for the Flash. I see one that says Wikipedia says 200 million, and then something called I don't even know what that is. Some other article says 100 million.
Yeah, it was more than 100 million.
Yeah, it's got to be more than 100 million.
Yeah,
You can't
because you're
make a
talking
superhero movie.
right. Salaries and on top of that, the visual effects and stuff for the Flash. Oh, 100%.
It's got to. I would say 200
It-
million is probably the number.
75 million is how much it took to make Morbius.
Oh,
That's a bargain, but that movie, I mean, they obviously didn't put a lot of effort into it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing like 1.52 million or 200
Yeah.
to make the Flash.
Yeah, you're not. I don't. You might make some back up. I don't think it's going to be enough to put it in a theater though,
You could make
and add that
Morbius
extra
money on
cost.
it, right? So let's say you make 160 million. You know, you lose what? You know,
40.
I'm not good with percentages. A fourth of your money. So,
But the difference is Morbius isn't going to go straight to HBO Max. It's just going to sit there till Sony decides to do something with it, or it goes to like Stars in 6-7 months.
Or they re-release it in 3 years, trying to catch up with what's the
when
blue
it
movie?
becomes
What's the
which
blue
one?
movie that they kept releasing? It's
The
got the
blue
sequel
movie?
coming out. The Blue People.
Oh,
Avatar?
Avatar.
Avatar. Okay, well, they have to release that every year, for 100 years to get anywhere close to Avatar.
Morbius come back on the same schedule as the McRib.
Hey guys, the
alternators.
McRib's here. That means Morbius is out. Let's go.
Right.
This is back.
Go watch
Dude,
Morbius.
that's a
and get
brilliant.
McRib.
That's a brilliant
And
tie-in.
bring back the Szechuan sauce.
What?
The
Szechuan? I can't
the
even say the word.
Morbius McRib. It's extra red looking.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant tie-in.
Ah,
I did
good
find it funny
stuff.
that once the internet started making fun of it, someone at Sony was like, "Hey guys, we need to put this back in theaters," and it didn't work.
No.
Didn't work.
It's terrible. Let's put it back and see if we can make more money.
I
Yeah.
think you. Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway,
So can we move on
Yeah.
to Joey Sucks? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that was kind of what this whole little section was. It was Joey sucks because he thinks, he didn't think Morbius was good, but some of his ideas for Star Wars that he was throwing out were definitely suck.
Oh.
Okay, well, let's just get on to
What about
Obi-Wan.
well, what
Or
about
what?
Ace being scared of the mouse?
That's still part of Joey sucks,
part
but
of Joey sucks.
we kind
Yeah.
of we already kind of passed through that.
The short version of that is I didn't like his friend's idea for the Kenobi movie because it wasn't Disney. Like, okay, bro.
And it turns out that
Okay.
Ace is just a shill for Disney. So
Yeah.
they pay him under the table to only say good things.
Right, you know
Is
my
that what it
cousin.
is?
Yeah.
Sorry. I just had to.
He takes a bath in Disney money. We'll get off the podcast.
But
Yeah.
see, all he has to do is put on the ears because he's already got the round top and then the ears.
Oh, you need a headset with the mouse ears.
That would be pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
You need the Scarlet Witch Disney thing.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I need that. I need all things Scarlet Witch. But let's move on.
Yeah, let's go on to Obi-Wan and let's talk about first. Let's talk about overall whole series. What are you guys thinking? Whoever wants to start that.
I would give the series overall. I would give it a 7.5. Overall, I think that there's a bunch of nitpicky stuff that I won't let it affect me, but some of the bigger issues that I have to bring it to like a 7.5 for the whole series. I enjoyed it. I would revisit it. I would love to see it all together without any breaks. I like the idea of them doing the movie. So maybe when they release it in theater, they'll put a unedited cut on Disney Plus. That'd be dope. But overall, like I said, I think a lot the good outweigh a lot of the bad things that were there. So 7.5.
Okay. Bonnie, what about you?
I think I would have to go with the 8. I think an 8 out of 10 for the entire thing because there are a couple of things that I feel like, just because we know how it ends, there's certain things that it's like, well, why'd you do that? But But all in all, 8 out of 10. But for the Obi-Wan and Vader part, that was a 10 out of 10 for me. So that's that. I guess that's my take on it.
Shane.
Um, it's honestly it's an 8.5 for me.
You
Maybe
felt like you had to really squeeze that one out, bud.
I'm just trying to. I mean,
Always
it's hard
trying
for
to
me to
want
put
to.
a. It's hard for me to put a number on the whole series. It's
Eight and
hard
a
for me to
half.
put a number on the whole series. A couple of the episodes are really high for me. A couple of the episodes are pretty low, if I'm being honest. So I mean, if I average it out, I mean, overall, I'm happy with the series. I don't have a ton of complaints. I have some nitpicks, a couple things I didn't like, but overall, I mean, the series met my expectations, and I had high expectations. I don't expect to ever give a show a 10 out of 10. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, there's very few shows that I would say 10 out of 10 hands down. Now, there may be individual episodes that meet that for me, but again, like most shows, I'm not going to give a 10 out of 10. 8.5 is pretty high for me. I loved the original characters. Obviously, the massive nostalgia factor did it for me. And I like that we got some Easter eggs and some tie-ins to Clone Wars or Episode 3 and those sorts of things. So, it brings a lot of a lot of the time I've invested into Star Wars. It brings a lot of those memories back. So just off that, it gets a high score. Obviously, Ewan McGregor's in it, and I freaking love him. Um, and I really think they pull it together at the end. My rating would have been a lot lower before the final two episodes. So I don't know. It's a solid 8.5 for me.
What you got,
Sorry.
Jerry?
Audio
I would
audio
give
there
it.
for a
I would
minute.
give it a. Yeah, it was kind of quiet because I had muted myself. I was yelling
Okay.
at some kids. So I would probably give it an 8. Just that's probably pretty fair. That's kind of what I would even rate Mandalorian. Just because of some of the low stuff, it pulls it down for me. Even though I have some really good moments with Vader and Obi-Wan, seeing some Leia stuff with him has been pretty awesome. In the fact that like almost makes you tear up. Um, some of the ideas of like, I think the story in itself, I think I like a lot just because of thinking that
Yeah.
he's been so worried about Luke because he's the boy, that he's going to be the one, and had
Yep.
no thought whatsoever about Leia. I thought that was pretty awesome. And then he realizes, okay, she is important. She's just as important. Who she was, the mentality of both of them, and what they have from like. That's when I started getting a little teary eyed. When he's like, "You got this and this from your mom,
Oh,
this and this from your dad." Yeah, I was
such
like
a
getting
good scene.
chills. Yeah, totally. It was a good way to end it. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
I think
So
also
yeah,
too. I was just gonna say, Jared, on your point, I think it also too helped him accept Luke a little bit more too, because it was like both of them have their path, and so yeah, I
yeah,
definitely got that from that too.
Yeah. And I liked his thing with Luke where he said, let him have. I think he needs a childhood, so he needs to just grow up, which I really liked because that, obviously leads you more into 4 where he doesn't have a clue. So
Right.
we're gonna get into the last episode, but yeah, really well done. And I love the conversations, like you said, Jared, between him and Leia. I thought that was really well done. He obviously didn't give her too much, but she didn't want it, which I like the way they did that because she has a mom and a dad that love her. So, but she knows a little bit about her real parents. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
totally.
And I do want to add, since we're talking about like full circle for the whole season, I think probably one of the best parts of the whole thing, aside from the Leia stuff, because I absolutely love the Leia stuff, was seeing Obi-Wan in the beginning. We see how lost he is to at the very end, seeing how he's then, which we'll get into it, but that whole like progression for him, and like it makes me really sad whenever I talk about it. So if I get teary-eyed, I get teary-eyed. But how broken he was there in the beginning, and that's pretty much how he was living for like 10 years. And then I kind of feel like Leia helped him to become the person that we get to see in the end. And I know like other pieces are added onto that as well, but I really do feel like Leia had a huge influence in helping him, I guess, let go of all that heartache and pain and anger and all that stuff. So I
Yeah,
love
'cause-
that part of it.
You're about to start crying.
Yes, I
You were almost
am.
there. Keep going. Keep.
I don't want to.
This story just seems so familiar. It's like,
Don't start with your episode 8 bullshit. Don't.
Is it
We're
like
not
Harry
gonna-
Potter?
No.
'Cause, yeah, I would agree.
it feels so.
Or,
I
Jared,
mean,
I'm gonna do
where
it.
have
I'm
we?
just gonna do it. We're not doing this. You're not bringing down Obi-Wan. You're not bringing down Obi-Wan. You say, oh look,
I didn't get Last Jedi vibes from her at all.
It's like we.
are you really gonna tell me that like his story has nothing to do with the
Shane,
bullshit
Shane,
from
Shane.
episode 8?
Shane,
No.
relax.
No, I'm not. No, you're not going to bring down the last season finale of Obi-Wan with your agenda.
It's not about season finale.
No.
It's about the show. We're talking about the show.
Look.
Shane.
He had a
show, too,
legitimate
agree.
reason. He had a legitimate reason to be the way he was.
What was his legitimate reason?
The entire
being a hermit.
fell at the hands of his Padawan.
But he
Ace.
wasn't a hermit then
so-
either. He doesn't
He
become
wasn't
a
a
hermit
hermit.
until the end.
So-
He's still doing his mission.
He was a hermit. He was living by himself.
No, he
His only
wasn't.
friend. Yeah, he was. Who
No,
was
he
he
wasn't,
living with?
'cause he was-
Bonnie, who was he
he was
living
He's got a
with?
job. He's
He had
working.
a
He's out there
job.
cutting
He was
meat.
interacting with
Okay,
people.
so let me ask you a question.
Hermits don't do that.
Let me ask you a question. Which one of his homeboys was coming home to have a beer with him after it
He
was
had to
over?
go here.
That
You
doesn't
don't
make
need
it.
friends.
That has zero to
Just
do
because you have
with
no
it.
friends, you're not a hermit.
Hey, listen. I'm finna answer your question.
I don't-
So
I didn't
he
ask
had
the
a
question.
legitimate reason why
This is,
he was
this is stupidity.
why he was right. So did Luke. Luke
Still
had a legitimate reason.
interacted with
No. Luke
Yeah, they
Skywalker, the
Had a
man who did
legitimate
not,
reason.
who saw good in Darth Vader.
He had a
Luke
legitimate
Skywalker,
reason.
the man who saw good in Darth Vader and brought him back,
Mhm.
had a dream that Kylo Ren might go dark, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna cut this bitch up in his sleep."
That wasn't his
They're
reason.
just
It
using
wasn't
that
his
George Lucas,
Stupidity.
writing.
It wasn't
Total
his reason.
stupidity.
The reason that Luke Skywalker.
Look, you can defend your little boy all you want. The movie is trash.
I'm
And
not
the
going to
more
compare the
we
Obi-Wan
get,
to
it's
the
trash.
Last Jedi.
See,
No.
that's
Not a good-
what I'm saying.
not a
Y'all
good
got to keep
comparison.
that same energy because the
Not a good
same
comparison.
story happened.
It's not the same
It-
story.
it's-
It didn't.
because here's the thing: Star Wars does
Didn't.
that, right? Star Wars does the same tropes in everything. Like that's why when we watch shows, we've seen like with the Mandalorian, right? There's always like the apprentice and the master.
Just have
With
to kill the mood.
it's not killing the mood. We having a
Killing the
conversation.
mood.
I thought that's what
You're
we was
killing the
doing
mood.
on the podcast. We was having a conversation.
Who's the
So-
apprentice and the master in Mandalorian?
The master would be Mando. The apprentice would be Grogu. There's always
I didn't get that at all from that.
That's father
At
son,
all.
in my opinion.
father son.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is there's always a cub. There's always a cub and a grown up. That the same trope is in Star Wars in all of the stories, right? So they recycle stories. So here again we have a Jedi, one of the most prominent Jedis, who cut themselves off from the Force, who had turned their back on everything and then had to have some type of redemptive arc. Same thing happened in Episode 8.
No.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin.
Justin, I love you, but no, Grogu
So-
is not a master and
So,
apprentice.
so,
Steve.
so
Yeah,
what,
I
let me ask you a
don't get
question.
that
Hold on, let me
from
ask
Mando
both
and
of y'all a
Grogu.
question.
Shane, you do have
Can I
you do have control. You could
Oh,
put up our
I know.
sponsor while he's on.
Can I
You know what?
ask
That's
both
a
of y'all
great
a
idea.
question? You said that there's no master and apprentice. So what do they call Grogu? What is he called?
That's the guy who just gave that, who's agreeing
Grogu
with Ace.
is Baby
That tells you
Yoda.
all you need to know.
But what do they call him? What is his title?
He looks like he's
Grogu.
got something wrong.
He's a youngling. He's a foundling.
I don't know when they call him that, but sure.
And they do call him
They
a
call him a
foundling
foundling,
because
so all
a foundling is basically the it's like being a young Mando.
I was
Yes.
just calling him Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
I know, but we're talking about
I
the
feel
titles though. Thank you, Justin.
The only time I agree with him.
All
I
I'm
don't-
saying, all I'm saying is, like, listen, it's not about the comparisons of Episode 8 because at the same time, if you guys want to be realistic and have the real conversation, if you go back and relook at the Kenobi series, they gave homages to every Star Wars.
Yeah,
movie,
they did. I would agree with
every
that.
one of them, and they didn't
I
leave
agree.
out Episode 8. So what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we recycle stories in Star Wars, which is why there's always the convenience factors in Star Wars. in all of the series that we've seen thus far, there has been where we've had this like something outside of Boba Fett, right? Outside of Boba,
What's
we
up?
didn't.
What's up, Charles?
Outside of Boba, we didn't have like that whole thing. But the Ahsoka stuff, like Rebels and all of that, it's always been like that apprentice and master relationship. Yes, ma'am.
Then it doesn't have anything to do with episode 8. It has everything to do with episode 4.
No, it has
Since that
everything
was
to do
the
with Star Wars.
first
But
Star Wars.
But I can, like I said, I can outline the parallels of episode 8 and the show.
Or
The
you can just
basis,
outline it.
But I could also
that
I disagree a little bit on
original
that.
3.
the basic thing that I'm saying, and then y'all got it. The basic thing
go
that I'm
ahead.
saying, you had this master Jedi who cut themselves off from the Force and had a redemptive story. The same thing that happened in 8. That's the only thing that I'm saying.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I'm saying though that Luke had this moment where he tried to kill Ben, and so he just completely cuts himself off.
And
The difference here though is that Yoda sent him to Tatooine to be with his master. But because of what had just happened, he couldn't they couldn't
Traumatized.
talk to each other because he was so blocked. It wasn't because he just said I'm done. He couldn't talk to him because of that fear and pain from Anakin that happened, that he basically couldn't even convene with Qui-Gon. So in my opinion, the difference there is that he just was like, he kept trying and kept trying. We see in the episodes later that he's still, Master, I've got to do this. He's still trying to do it.
But Jared,
He didn't just say I was done though.
There are no, he did say he was done. Yes, he did. He said he was done when they tried to get him to go find Leia. He basically had to tell him like, no, you're going to do this. He was done. That's how
He was scared. He was scared to show himself.
That's how one of the Jedi got killed, because he said no. The Jedi that got hung in the Times Square. Listen, I'm not debating with you guys about the intricate details about the story. The point I'm making is Star Wars does repeat stuff. The repeating part of it is that we had a prominent Jedi that cut themselves off from the Force, that gave up and had to have a redemptive arc. How they got to the
Episode 4.
That's fine too. Wait, who did that in episode 4?
Well, Obi-Wan. When he's
He's not really cut off from the Force, and
then it's not until Luke goes and finds him and brings him the droid that he's like, oh, I guess I'll get back on the horse here.
But even when you were saying something about Luke about to kill Ben, Obi-Wan was prepared to kill Vader. It wasn't until he saw his face.
That's a different scenario.
It's not a difference. See, you want to make it a different scenario. Did he try? Was he prepared to kill him or not, Shane? I'm strictly commenting on Jared's
You're comparing Kylo
Yeah.
to Vader.
Jared's
he was going there to do whatever he had to do.
He even said it. I will do what I must. He was prepared to kill him. His face, even if you go back and watch it, his face, like he was about to kill Vader, until he saw Anakin's face, and he was like,
I'm not saying he didn't go there and kill him, but he has a legitimate reason to go kill Darth Vader.
so
Luke
Luke
has
was
no reason to go kill Kylo Ren.
Luke was about to kill Kylo Ren and he didn't. Similarity. That's a similar situation. Whether you want to agree to that or not, bro, it's there.
All right,
It's
I'll give
facts.
you a brownie point. Go for it. That's great. Super. Clearly, they watched episode 8 and were like, "Holy shit, let's write Kenobi," and they just
No, they watched
clone.
all of Star Wars and made sure
Clone.
they gave homage to everything. That's all I said.
I'm not saying they
I
didn't
do
give
agree with
homage,
that.
but the difference between Obi-Wan being willing to kill Anakin and the difference between Luke being willing to kill Ben is night and day.
So
that would be
let me
like
ask you a question,
Obi-Wan.
Shane.
That would be
Can I
like,
just ask you
no.
one question, Shane?
Let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
Let me finish, okay? So look, yes, different scenario. So look,
Wait,
okay, when Qui-Gon
Who do you
gives-
think's reaching, Charles? Who's reaching here?
Okay, look.
Go ahead, Shane.
when Qui-Gon
Yeah, you keep talking and we'll see what he says.
When Obi-Wan becomes Qui-Gon, or when Obi-Wan takes him as his apprentice, if he had a dream that night or he had a revelation of what was going to happen, like the potential for him to become Vader, if Obi-Wan then tried to kill him, then that would be a correlation between 8 to be. Because Kylo had done nothing wrong when Luke woke up one night and decided he was going to kill him. So when Obi-Wan goes to kill Vader, it's because he's become Darth Vader. So when they went and am I wrong? He killed him because he became Darth. He wanted to kill him because he was Darth Vader.
So
it was
so what
he
I
had
said,
already transitioned to the dark side.
So this is exactly what I said when we first started. I am not comparing the details. What I said was I've been consistent this whole time. Two things. Number one, did a Jedi cut themselves off from the Force and have to have a redemptive arc in both series? Yes. Number two. Okay. Number two, did the said Jedi attempt to kill somebody and then didn't do it in both situations? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, I was reading the
okay.
What?
Then that those are the only 2 points that I'm making, is that they're similar. I didn't say nothing about details.
So I'll give you the first point, but the details matter as they do in most things. I'll give you the first point. The second
point, the details don't matter in the point that I'm making, because I'm the one that's making the point.
Because you want to gloss over it to make a dumb point. Go for
it. We're not glossing over anything.
We're glossing over a glaring difference. Just
shame. Just because you don't want to see it don't mean it's not there.
And shows violence. I was in a good mood. I'm ready to talk about a killer episode of Obi-Wan, and you're like,
gonna talk about it.
I'm gonna come in here and
we commenting on the question that the moderator asked, brother. He said, let's talk about the series as a whole, and that's what we're doing.
And you had to go to 8. Like, you had to go to 8. You have to taint Obi-Wan with your garbage opinion on 8.
I can't help it.
My money's on Charles, hands down. My money's on Charles.
I don't know. Can that?
You can't do that to me.
Can you beat that, Charles?
Oh.
I know how Shane's feeling right now.
My money's on Charles. You're not wrong. I'm channeling my Anakin. Can we move past this wonderful opinion?
Speaking of that scream, Anakin has some iconic screams, because you remember when he screamed in the last episode? Oh my God!
Yeah, as he's flying away and he's
solid. Okay, you know what? We're diving right in.
Yeah, let's get it.
One of my favorite parts. First off, I love the whole fight. I thought it was really well done.
I love you, Justin.
Justin, you need to get on here. You need to get on here. Anyway. So one of my absolute favorite parts, the fight was amazing. I love that Vader's super powerful, and then Obi-Wan kind of like recenters himself. I love that scene. And obviously Obi-Wan just kicked ass after that. But when he cuts his face mask, and then we have that moment of where you see Anakin. I'm sorry. I have plenty of complaints with the writers and stuff, but the voice, where it was you heard Anakin and then you heard Vader and they mixed.
Yeah.
Just did it for me. Like, I thought that was so well done.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this is my hot take. Okay, so
real quick, spoilers, like major spoilers, because we haven't even said that.
Oh, you gotta know
for the final.
So here's the thing: when it comes to lightsaber fights, this by far is my number one fight. Like this one is it for me. Out of everything we have from the prequels to anything. Now, I won't count like Rebels and Clone Wars. That's
CGI is different.
I'm talking live.
You can do so much more there. Yeah.
Right. So with live action, this is the best live action saber fight that I've seen. A lot of people really like the episode 3 fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin. The reason why that one is a turnoff for me, I don't like the elements. Like, I don't like them jumping to here and going there and on the lava.
Like the little robots flying around and jumping on the top, kind of fighting off of them.
Yeah, I don't like that. So for me to see this felt like a kung fu fight with Star Wars added, meaning that they used the Force against one another. You know what I'm saying? And we've never got to see Obi-Wan this powerful. Like when the rocks, when he's just holding his arms out like this, bro, and the rocks came. But when it was the confidence that he had when he got off the ship. Like he looked at Lola, he put Lola down, and even Lola was like, oh, but like he gets off, and as soon as he turned his saber on, was like, bruh, it's about to get ugly. Like he did his little thing. It was epic to see Obi-Wan get down like that, bro.
And it was
Yeah.
it was so well done. Like even like we haven't seen a fight where like he physically takes the lightsaber hilt and he beats his chest plate and he destroys his chest plate. Like, I mean, that fight just come on.
Yeah.
And it was cool because we've seen Vader obviously be incredibly powerful this entire series, and they didn't like suddenly Vader wasn't weaker. Like the beginning of the fight is close; it's obviously closer, but Vader still has control of the fight. And then obviously when Obi-Wan falls, he crushes Obi-Wan, and that's when Obi-Wan recenters. From then on, it's Obi-Wan's fight.
Yeah, but I think they did an incredible job of, like you said, showing how strong Vader still was. Like, and the thing was that because Anakin was the more skilled fighter, as Vader, he doesn't have the same mobility. So if you
Right.
notice when he fights, he uses the Force a whole lot more when he fights
Right.
as Vader. So
And it's
what-
just brute strength.
Right. So what
Yeah.
got him is when they went in that little small area and Vader couldn't really swing his arms that well because the elements were super close. And so he just couldn't. That's where he got him. Like,
I like the scene where they're back
again,
to
he
back too.
outsmarted him. Oh my gosh. And he was twirling.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan was swirling and stuff too, and he caught it back. I was like, okay.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I do have one critique though. Whenever Vader had the high ground,
Yeah.
He didn't say it. I was like,
he
sure, he's
didn't
not going to
freaking
say
say
it.
it.
Please, I look. I thought they would do it just as like.
I
the
think I would have been a
ultimate
little
Easter egg.
upset if he said
I'm
it
really
though.
glad they didn't.
Nah,
No.
I would have loved
I
that.
wanted
I don't
it.
think
I
I
was
would've
like,
liked
he's
it.
got the high ground. He's got the high ground.
That would have been
Minute-
cheese to me.
The minute I saw Obi-Wan down there, I was just
Listen,
waiting
I love
for
the
I
cheese.
have the high ground. I was just
I
like,
love
oh,
the
no.
cheese. That
Yo,
that
when he-
George
I-
Lucas scripting, love it.
Look, when he walked
Good.
off though, when Vader walked off though, like my job
Like
is
he's
Like,
done. Yeah.
Great.
Come on.
I
And
think-
Obi-Wan just
How he gets out of it too was thinking of the kids. I was
it
like,
was
oh,
incredible.
broke me.
And then I loved, like, I haven't seen any breakdowns yet of what voices or what scenes were played through that. I want to go back and listen to everything that happens in that little moment. But that to me was the point where he finally reconnected. He's the most powerful we've ever seen Obi-Wan by far.
Yep.
And just, the amount of the Force that they used, I loved, because we've seen like the Dooku Yoda fight. We see a lot of Force there, but like this was just pure power. Like they're throwing rocks at each other, and like even when Vader throws rocks, yeah, exactly. When Vader throws the rock and Obi-Wan just cuts it in half, and then Obi-Wan still has his saber, but he just stands there and hurls rocks at Vader. And Vader, defends the first two, but he's just,
Getting pummeled.
oh
Yeah.
it was so
I
well
think-
done.
I think a lot of that fight, though, I think Kenobi is still not as powerful, but
Totally
it goes back to the beginning where he talks about the rage and how Anakin fights.
Yeah.
And whereas he's always more defensive, he knows what he's gonna do. He's using his intelligence and what he knows, and that's when he went and started like doing the butt of the saber into his chest, cut off his oxygen, do these things. Like he's thinking about what he's gonna do, not so much like I'm just gonna pound the crap out of you like Vader's doing right now. Like he's just
Right.
hitting him.
Yeah.
But you want to know the best part of the fight? The conversation afterwards.
Yes.
When Obi-Wan got the piece of knowing that it wasn't me, like my friend is truly gone, and he was like you're really lost, like,
Send that to me, Justin.
and for him to say like, nah, you don't count me as a failure, like you didn't kill Anakin, I did.
Did you see his
Get that
smile when he
credit.
said that? Like the
Yes.
little.
I know.
Okay,
Come
I
on,
do have a
Aiden.
question about this part.
Mhm.
Okay, so Anakin's talking to him at this point. It's kind of breaking up, and he's saying that you didn't do this. I killed Anakin. I'm wondering, are we saying that he actually had a split personality?
No,
this is-
I don't think so. I just think that when the person that people knew as Anakin Skywalker is dead, like
Ceased to
you
exist.
hear people say that, like when somebody's just far gone. Like we've heard that outside of Star Wars, when somebody is just when they create a persona, it's just like no, you know, even like any villain that like when okay, like that you might say Jack Napier is Joker beforehand, and then once he went into acid, Jack Napier died, and then the Joker is there. I don't look at it as the split
Yeah.
personalities. Uh, but Bonnie brought up a great point. We talked earlier. She said that him saying that justified him telling Luke that his father was killed
I was about to say
by
that
Vader.
to me was specifically because of the line in episode 4.
They like closed that loop. I was like, way to go. Way
Because
to go.
his first interaction is your father was killed by Darth Vader. It's the truth. Darth Vader
Right.
killed Anakin Skywalker.
But
Well, and then
they
whenever he
protected
leaves-
that, but then want to destroy the only thing that I had an issue with in this whole
We
episode.
don't need to go down that road.
No, but
What-
let me just say, when he
what-
left,
yeah, go
what
ahead.
did Obi-Wan say? When
By
he leaves
Darth.
Vader.
It's like by Darth.
Oh, I
Didn't
was
even
like,
call him Anakin.
yeah,
Didn't even call
'cause
him Vader.
He knows. He knows.
He's done with
Anakin's
him, and
gone.
like I thought it was so good for him to put him behind him. Like to me, if there's a season 2, Vader is not the antagonist.
No.
He's not. I think you've look. I don't think the series. And I want a season 2. I'm going to say that right now, but I don't think this needs a season 2.
It
And
doesn't.
if they
Would
were
be
to
a
come
great
out and
season 2.
what's that?
I said there would be a great season 2, and I have a pitch for it.
And I have a feeling I know what you're pitching, but I'm just saying like they did a really good job tying this up. And so if you do go on with the season 2, and I'll let you give your theory, I won't spoil anything, but if you do want to give a season 2, you do not use Vader as the antagonist.
Mm-mm.
Like to me, they're done.
But I feel like
think
even
that's how you-
Obi-Wan's
yeah.
done because I think he's now where Qui-Gon is. You know, like
Yeah.
bro, we're balanced. That's what we're gonna keep doing is being a balanced. You know, our,
So he
our
can-
scales are balanced, so we're one.
Well, our
Right.
final shot with Vader gives us the intention that we're not going to get another Vader Obi-Wan. That's done.
Yeah.
Because Palpatine was like, I mean, I loved that. I loved that interaction. I think it was really necessary. Ahmad, you remember the Master and Apprentice book?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
Straight out of the Master and Apprentice book. Like
Yeah.
that scene right there where Palpatine basically is like, he's like, I sense the weakness. And, you know, that I don't know the exact line, but when he says that line straight out, because Anakin has always, or Vader has always struggled with Anakin. Like, just
Mhm.
because he put the helmet
Mhm.
on and he embraced the dark side doesn't mean that Anakin doesn't bubble to the surface. And I think his weakness has always been Obi-Wan.
Yep.
And every time he's with Obi-Wan, we see that weakness. Like, look what he did to Reva. And I know Reva and Obi-Wan aren't comparable, but like he just flat out owned her. But then when he fights Obi-Wan, I think it's his weakness. Like there's all that history and all that stuff. Like, you know, and
Yep.
so it's just he's battling on rage, he's not thinking, and Obi-Wan outsmarts him. But that scene right there where he's like, we're hunting Obi-Wan and we're sending people to every corner of the galaxy, and Palpatine's like, bro, do you have a problem? It's time to move on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even Grand Inquisitor tried to like, bro, we don't need to chase Obi-Wan. We need to stop.
Let's finish off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we can get all the Jedi right here. Like we can
Right.
end this whole. He's like, no, we have to go get Obi-Wan.
Not.
Go to Obi-Wan.
So well done.
If I choke somebody out.
I don't know if y'all can hear that in the background, but he's
It's fine.
it's like
So what was
hammering.
your fine? What is the
Okay.
one nitpick
My one
that you
nitpick,
said you had?
it's consistent with episode 4, right? It's the fact that Leia knows him as Obi-Wan. I think that's a complete misstep. My thing is that at the end of the day, you know what the end is, so you're feeling in the middle. You protected Luke from not seeing the saber. You could have protected Leia from not knowing his name was Obi-Wan. You could have just let her know him as Ben.
I feel
Yeah, we
like they
talked.
closed that circle
I
though at the end.
I think she figured that
sure.
out a long time ago. Even though you said Ben, yeah.
But she figured it
That
out.
doesn't sound like a
kept
Jedi
saying-
name. That's what she says. That doesn't sound like a Jedi name.
Right. She's smart. I get it,
knows.
But what I'm
Very
saying is
smart.
there were so many people that said it around her that like I'm just saying they reiterated that into the script. I'm saying if when you're doing the series, I get it. It's there. It's not one of those things that is gonna stop me from liking the Obi-Wan series. I'm just saying if we're talking about the thing, like the nitpicks aside, I'm talking about this is the thing that was just like a very sore thumb for me. So I just think that That was such a misstep of protecting her from that, because I mean, obviously, nobody thought going into this series that Obi-Wan was going to be hanging
Got a
out with Leia
paragraph.
to begin with.
Yeah. He says,
No,
realistically, recall people you met when you were 10. Name people who impacted your life for a short time at 10 years old.
this man
I
literally
feel like
saved a life.
that was a pretty traumatic event, though. And you would remember a traumatic event,
Yeah.
I would expect.
But
She was
She is force sensitive
I
too.
do feel like they closed the gap though. Like Obi-Wan even tells her that, we can't mention this, that we've seen each other to, out of protection. And maybe that's my brain's justifying why she sent the message that she did in episode 4.
Well, I
Is
mean,
Obi-Wan telling her
as
that.
soon as you have them meet in real life, it changes the interactions that would have happened in real life in episode 4. So by bringing Leia as the one that he has to rescue, you've changed how, because no matter what, even if she doesn't know him as Ben, the first time she sees him, she's not going to be like, "Who are you?" She's going to be like, "Oh my God, Ben! I haven't seen you since I was 10 when you saved me from the Inquisitors." Like,
But
I feel like that interaction. I feel like
But
you just
she-
have to eat that one because you can't rewrite the.
She never
doesn't
sees
seem-
Ben.
she never sees him.
He dies before she.
But she sees him going into the. Doesn't she see him getting on the Millennium Falcon? So she doesn't see him die. He's dead before.
She doesn't see him. Luke
Yeah,
is the
she
only one
doesn't-
that sees him die.
Everybody else is running in.
So at
Remember
no
when they went to
point-
go
at no point
rescue?
She saw Ben.
And then Luke
when they went to go
runs
when they
back
went to
and-
go rescue when they went to go rescue her, he went off by himself.
Now I remembered all that, but I thought she had seen him. God. I can get on board with 789. I thought she had seen him as he was fighting Vader as they were getting on the ship.
No.
But anyway, that's fine.
I didn't
But then
think so.
she's still going to be like,
here's the thing. They did the same thing with other stuff in episode 4, like him acting like he's never seen R2D2 before.
yeah.
So I get it. I understand. I understand. It's again, it's not going to affect how the overall series did for me. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, when we're talking about the stuff, that's my one hang up that I gotta eat. I get it.
Can I say my hang up then? If you're done
Go
with your
for it.
hang up. I wish they would have done better with Reva's character. Like the whole thing in the last episode with Reva's character was pointless, I felt. Like as we
Yeah.
were talking earlier, I just wish they would have
I-
done different. They did a strong build and just teetered
Yeah,
out.
she should have just
died.
died. She should have just died.
She should have died. Vader should have
She-
killed her when he called her Padawan. Should have just killed her.
Yeah.
I
Don't-
feel like we are going to see Reva in some other series of some kind.
Yeah.
This is the only
Yeah.
reason she's not dead.
I just hope they do better with her character if that's what they're going to do.
I like
I'm
the story.
okay with it, but do better.
I like the story because I like the idea of a youngling surviving and her just being tried to kill Vader. I like that because to me, like if you were a youngling and you watched all your friends get slaughtered, you would want to murder this man, like plain and
Right.
simple. So I like
Yeah.
that idea of it. I think you do not. This is a hang up in Star Wars that I have. You do not have to redeem everyone. Like
No.
I get it. We redeem Darth Vader, but you don't have to redeem every single person that goes to the dark side. You don't.
But I think they
Right,
did a good
no.
job of not totally redeeming her. Like
I
they
agree.
basically left it open. I appreciated that because I could
Mhm.
see her in the Cal Kestis series, right? Because it's
Yeah.
still around the same time frame, and then
yeah.
you can build her character. So I get why they probably didn't kill her.
She should have
kinda there
died.
with it.
She should have died.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they cut a man in half because I know Joey had a big issue with like she got stabbed the exact same way Qui-Gon did. But my response to that is it's Star Wars. We literally cut a man in half and put metal legs on him, or I guess a metal waist down on
metal
him.
legs that turned into
everybody's
like
fine.
magic legs.
So I'm like, it's Star Wars, guys. Like we have to
Yeah.
take things with a
Yeah.
grain of salt.
And-
She should have died there, in my opinion. I didn't mind the way she didn't kill Luke because it flashes back to when Vader killed all of her friends. Again, I'm with you. It didn't feel necessary. It really did.
Right.
I think for her, what I didn't like about the character overall was that she was so intense, so like, we were trying so hard to make her feel like she is just going to kill everything in her path, and then we get down to the end, and it's just like, oh, I see myself.
But
I'm
I,
not
I
gonna do
think
it.
I think that was done on purpose, though. I
Yeah.
get you still didn't like it. I'm not taking away from that.
I felt like
But
we went too hard on it though to try to make that happen.
She's trying to get Vader's attention because she needs
Go
to be
ahead. I didn't
close
mean
to
to
him.
interrupt.
no, you didn't. You're fine. I'm right there with you, Shane. I think that it was done on purpose for her to try that hard or to be that angry or to be that ruthless so that she could, because her motives were to get close to Vader. And obviously she doesn't understand how powerful Vader is, that her
Yeah.
plan, she's got tunnel vision of, I've got to do whatever I can to get close to him so that I can kill him, not realizing she's becoming more evil by doing these evil deeds to convince them that she's evil when she's really not. So I that made me it made sense once things unfolded. But again, I understand people just didn't like the character, but I appreciate the people who are attacking the character and not Moses Ingram
Yeah.
for her.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like
She
they
did
could
what she
have
needed to
done
do.
so much better in the end with her character. Even if they didn't kill her. I still feel like they could have done better with the character. They just, that last episode, it was like a fizzle. Like,
Mhm.
because I'm here for strong female actors. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that. I would love to see her in some of this other stuff they're coming out with these strong female characters. So it's 100% on the writing, I think, when it comes to how they did her whole thing. Because they came in hard with her character, and it was very in your face, angry and stuff. That's the dark side, and then fizzled
Yeah.
into what it was. And
Yeah.
I wish
I
they
just
would
felt
have
like
done
the
that.
story, though, they were trying so hard to make her that way, so that when we got to the end, we would go, "Oh, yay! She changed over this 6-part series." It felt like we tried too hard to make it happen. Is what I'm saying. It's not that her character couldn't be that way. It's just that I felt like it happened faster than I feel like it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's just a nitpick for me.
So
I'm
I
definitely
had
not going to disagree with you.
so I had this thing that I wanted to propose to y'all. It's called you have to choose one. Okay. So you can either choose season 2 of Obi-Wan, or you can choose the first season of Vader. Let me explain what both of them are, the premise of them, and then you can decide which one you want. So with season 2 of Obi-Wan, because he kind of released Luke a little bit to where it's like, look, I don't have to be like over your shoulder. He just needs to be in place before episode 4 in the movies, right? So I think he goes, now that he's learning his powers again, and we've never got like this, there's a space where we don't know what happens. It's an opportunity for us to get to see Obi-Wan at his full power. And maybe he goes to try to reconnect with Quinlan Voss, and he goes to try to help find some of these lost Jedi. And then you can make him run into like a Cal Castus, and then he can have his side story. But you're built, and then he can really, get in tune with Liam Neeson, this, that, and the other. Maybe he even takes a trip to Dagobah. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying we can have this adventure with Obi-Wan Kenobi where we get to see him at his full strength before he makes it into the episode 4, and you end the series with the mall scene from Rebels.
Mm.
That's the second season of Obi. For Vader, we take it right where we leave off, where uh Obi-Wan, I mean, where Vader and Palpatine are talking, and he's basically like, look, you need to reshift your focus. And so now we get to see Vader going to hunt more Jedi and doing his thing, getting more powerful, him going back. It's basically almost like a live action Master and Apprentice. I mean, Lords of the Sith.
That's
That's basically the concept for the Vader series, because we would get to see more Vader, some more Anakin. You would get a bunch of flashbacks between him and Padme. You could bring old girl back to do that, and then we can fill in some of these stories, but then have him killing Jedi, stuff like that. So which one do you choose?
I'm gonna go last because I
Vader.
100% Vader.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even close to me. Like, to me, I
Yeah.
liked the way they wrapped Obi-Wan. I would love more Obi-Wan. I'm not going to be upset if we get it, but Vader hasn't been touched. It has in the comics, but like there's no canon to screw with. Like, and we haven't had a Sith-based series. Now I know we're getting whatever's coming, the Acolyte or whatever, but we haven't had a Sith-based series. Like Vader in this series, they did a really good job with him just kicking ass. Like when he just dominates Reva, when he rips the side out of the ship, like when he drags Obi-Wan through the fire.
Neck.
Yes, like that is make me a series on that. Like just show me, and then come on.
I would take a rated R series of that.
Yeah. I mean, or just don't worry about
He
your
is
rating.
like cutting people in half. Yeah.
Yes.
Using the Force and tearing them up.
Hayden Christensen. Yes.
But I do think if you go on with Obi-Wan, like I don't want more Vader. You can have flashbacks. I'm all about flashbacks.
Yeah,
that's
no
fine.
Vader.
You know.
I don't think you need. I don't think you would need to touch Anakin or Vader at this point. I don't think it makes sense because we've done our flashbacks. He's accepted everything.
I mean,
no.
Yeah,
I was talking about the flashbacks in the Vader series with maybe more him Palpatine. I mean him and what's her face?
Padme.
Yeah, I know. I just meant.
Go ahead.
I mean, if we went on to a second season of OB, I don't want to see any more Anakin flashbacks or Vader flashbacks. We've settled that. It would have to be something different.
No more Vader and Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly,
I would still choose. I would choose Vader.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, obviously, I would love to see them both, but I'm saying for the OB series, you would get this familiar character, but in a time frame that there's nothing set, so you don't. It's not like you can say, well, see, they didn't give me what I want. Like, I mean, I get it. There's probably some comic books or some fake canon stuff that's out there, but so. And I would love to see some stories with him and what's her old girl name? Bo-Katan's sister.
Bo-Katan.
Satine.
Oh, Satine. Oh, that would be neat.
I always think Sabine, but it's not Sabine.
Not Sabine.
We need some Satine scenes and stuff like that. That'd be.
If I had to put money on it, I bet you.
You want that rated NC-17 is what you want.
I would bet money that we get both. I would bet that we get a Vader series and we get a season 2.
So they get a rematch?
This is like a
No, he's saying that you get to see more Qui-Gon with like some actually him teaching. Okay, I do have to say that Liam Neeson really looked a little. I don't know. There was something wrong.
It was something to do with the wig because he filmed that.
It was.
Listen,
that was a total CW thing. When I saw that, I was like, makeup messed up.
No, Star Wars sent Liam Neeson a box in Amazon. It was an Amazon box. He had to set up a green screen. He had to put his own wig on and everything.
You're serious?
Are you kidding?
Are you serious?
No, I did not know this.
That would so make sense though.
Hey, your boy had to do his own. They was like, "Look, bro, just turn your kitchen light on because we gonna blue you out anyway. Just look."
He went to Walmart and got a ring light.
Right.
Yeah.
And they was like, "Look, bro, just put your wig on." And then when they saw it, they was like, so they turned him sideways. And
I loved hearing his voice.
I felt like it was during episode 6. So when we got to see those Force ghosts.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I did. Obviously, I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I thought it was the perfect way to do Qui-Gon.
Oh, that made me think of something. Sorry.
I did call it though because I said he was going to be at the end of the series.
Yes, he was at the very end. I was like, "Are we ever going to get it?"
There were 2 moments I thought it was going to happen when he was in the hangar of the ship. Before he got in, I thought it was going to happen there, and then when he was underneath all the rocks and we started hearing the voices, I was listening, thinking I was going to hear Qui-Gon, and then you knew it was coming at the end. So.
Joey called it. No, what I was going to say is the part where, and I can't remember the name of the ship, and I should have looked it up before we got on.
You're just trying to make a fight. That's all you're doing.
Was like
it's not going to work because I didn't talk to Joey about
shooting it. at Obi-Wan. Was that not like old school?
What?
Spaceballs?
No, it was very much episode 4, 5, and 6 looking.
It was.
I was like, this is so cool.
Even shoot across her nose, not up it.
It was like.
I wonder if they really did it like they did back in the day, with just the like
miniatures.
model. Yeah.
You brought that up.
That would've been cool.
Did you see that they found? I think it was Rogue 5. Don't quote me, but they found an original X-wing model from the original filming of the Star Wars movies.
Oh, that is so
And
cool.
it was made out of pyrofoam, so most of them were destroyed because it's obviously flammable. They're meant to be blown up. And it sold for $2.3 million at auction this last week.
Crap.
So an original
Dang.
model, and they matched it to the screens. So it was screen used in the original Star Wars. Somebody bought it for $2.3 million.
Lucky.
Look, if I had $2.3 million,
I would buy it too.
I would have been bitten. Yeah.
I'd be trying to buy the volume if I had that much money.
Buy what?
The volume.
Make your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing in between services at church? Making Star Wars movies.
Making a Star Wars
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
I'm
The
betting
old
the
school
volume.
way.
I'm betting the volume would cost more than 2.3.
Yeah, I would imagine.
We could build one though. If any of us hit the lottery, the first thing we have to do is build a volume for the rest of us.
Is this what
Or
like
just-
an agreement we're doing right now?
Yes,
Or we
it's-
can
it's
build a
pact.
volume. We can build a volume in Oklahoma and then charge people to use it for movies.
Yeah, but we get first bid. We get first dibs.
100.
Gotcha.
As long as we get, first dibs for screen time.
Okay.
Because I've already got the Obi-Wan costume. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'll have his saber in January, so don't build it before January.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Well, love you guys. Good episode.
Mostly a good episode.
It was a really good episode.
Really good episode.
Definitely Obi-Wan. I'm glad that we finally got some of that. Hopefully
So
we'll get
good.
Vader. We got a few things that
Yeah.
they're kicking out for
It was
us.
a good
But-
closing to that chapter.
Yeah,
It was.
totally
I
agree.
liked
I'm
it.
ready for Andor.
I'm actually excited for, and they did not use the volume for filming Andor, which I find
look-
very interesting.
Well, they've been shooting Andor before the volume was even built. So
See,
Maybe
is that what it
like
was?
Yeah,
they've been shooting Andor for a long
before
time.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure because they just said it was one of these. It's going to be the first Disney Plus series that does not use the volume.
And it looks more cinematic than in the series too. Like it
You're
looks
building sets.
very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, just a
Okay.
little.
Cool,
tidbit.
cool.
We are the Marauders. We're here every Thursday, 7:30. We love you guys, and we are out. I always like this music.
This is the way.